Hey everyone, how you doing today? Thought I would get busy on this very strange Kriel Space Station again. Do part two on that, but show you a little side project I've been working on. I did show this already, but not at this stage. So this is kind of a transport vessel. It's getting closer and closer. I've got a couple issues I want to work out yet. I've got completely, totally unique thrusters from the front to the back at this point, and I think they need to be a little bit more conformed, and I'm thinking, I don't know, they seem a little off. And I keep on playing with like the position of these thrusters. I had the rear ones raised up a little bit more, but then that was causing a different set of problems where I didn't like the side profile as much. It looked weird. Maybe it's the position of the front thruster housing versus the rear thruster housing or something like that. But I ended up lowering them kind of back down again. Um, but I did like the look of it from the rear when they were up in the air more. I thought that looked great, but the side profile was really throwing me off. So I kind of like lowered them down. And then these are also supporting the landing gear of the ship as well. So the bottom part of these thrusters here do have to meet at the same spot to hold the ship up. Stuff like that. But anyway, it is coming along, and let's get busy on this thing. Now, this is, again, very, very exotic creation. I was kind of looking at it a little bit more, and I realized that I'm not thrilled with the block work I got right in this section on the sides. I think this it doesn't look super curvy, but I'm going to leave it for now just to see how that works out in the end. Now, it's going to look a lot different when it's textured and colored and all that. It's some of these areas that might stick out where they're not very smooth, especially down in this general area here, may look a lot different after it's textured. So I don't know. So I don't really want to rebuild that because I'm not sure if that's necessarily what's going to be needed yet. So what I want to do is keep on extending this again. So we got last time put in like 5 rows of ever fluctuating angled wedge blocks, and this time I kind of want to kind of extend that out in places and then try to smooth it off in other places, and then start thinking about what's going to take place on the other side of this. But I would kind of want to dial this part in a little bit more first. Okay, so symmetry's on. Let me get cracking here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start beveling out some of these areas a little bit more. There we go. Just got to, again, remember how to rotate blocks. First block I rotated of the day. Stumbling. All right. So, yeah, I'm trying to get this to come out like another row over here. But I may not do it so much over there. So maybe if I can like take this and round it off a little bit more. Again, this whole build is really largely focused on constant switching and altering of beveled blocks, of using all 3 different angled sets, and just kind of making them kind of curve around and trying to be a bit organic on how these things are actually meshing together. And then following a few rules too, like I'll do like 2 of one kind of block every time, so I know I'll have blocks to make that work out. So this would be like an area here which would be able to support a tentacle, and that's kind of what I'm trying to build this out to be. I know it sounds pretty silly when I talk about it. Again, high concept. Can't say I've built anything even remotely close to this looks before, but I always wanted to, and that's kind of what this is about. A lot of experimentation for sure. So okay, we're starting to form a pattern here, and I kind of want to keep that pattern alive, so that's why I kind of want to take the blocks on this side and start angling those back around to make kind of a oval at least. Just trying to, how abruptly do I want to make this curve happen here? I think it'd be probably best off if I match the angle that's on the top of this. So I'll use this block here, and then that one went into a regular 45 block like this, and then I think another one of the corners, except in this case, I think I'm gonna bend that in a little bit more inward. I think it goes up, yeah, it goes at 45 here. We'll do a 22.5 on the bottom, keep it a little bit different from the top, and I'll just kind of work this around the edge here. And I should be able to form it right back up in the same blocks used that it came down in. And I kind of look at that too. When I'm doing a lot of this stuff, it's like drawing a line, like on a piece of paper, like a curvy line. And it's just blocks instead. And that is kind of how I'm looking at this. So when I'm saying, like, it came down following this thing, and now I want to curve it back up like that, it's basically like drawing a particular shape, a line drawing kind of thing. And let's see here. Let's get back into this set again. So then we'll transfer that back to this angle. And I could probably do the same thing on the top here. Ooh, now the top's running a different angle right there. This is where you kind of run into some weird awkwardness. Like, I don't know. I just talk a lot. Alright, so I think this can still work. It's not a perfect oval, but that's cool. It's supposed to be organic. It's not supposed to be perfect. I don't necessarily like this particular angle right here, though. That little pointy Sharpie thing here, that's unique from the other side. So I think I will want to change this anyway. I might have to modify the other blocks in the area above it to conform, but in this case, I just think it would work out better if I did that. So now here, this is going to be one of those weird things here. By doing that, I'll have the same shape all the way around. It'll be a nice kind of an oval, but here, is there a block that could possibly work with this? I don't know. This one's, it's a possible, but I don't think this will work either, but I'm going to try anyway. Now, yeah, there's two of these, but you know, those force it to go out to a full. So now I've got this little bit of a dilemma here. So let's put in the same block that the other side is running. Well, actually it's not even running that, it's running kind of. No, yeah, it just doesn't work there. How do I rectify this? Okay, so let's put in this block. This will fit that and line up to the one edge. Maybe I can save it in the other direction, or maybe not. And I'm so far still using mostly all combat steel. But I do want to change a lot of that too to something else, to probably some Xeno in here. I kind of wanted to use some textures, believe it or not, of Xeno for this creation. That ain't gonna work either. That's where you get yourself into these weird things where I'm trying to do this one shape and make it smoothly work to the other shape, but it's not gonna turn out quite as nicely as I would have liked it to. But I'll keep trying. Sometimes you can find a unique combination of blocks that sometimes can work, or I just bite the bullet and have an edge here. I think that could work, and I don't really have another solution for that one. I think that would be about it there. Alright, so this part's been built out. We got two ovals now. Let's work these ovals a little bit more, bring them on another block row. But I want these to kind of come out at a little bit more of a sharper angle at this stage. So I'm going to change the angle again to the 22.5 so they can come out this way. And I'm hoping the formation of blocks around here works correctly now. Not if I use that block though. And I got no solution for this part. So, what do we do here? Let's try to come out with that so they both come out the same thing, and then I know there'll be a proper block to fit here. And that works. Okay, good, good. And then I know I can wrap those around okay. Now on the bottom here, see at the top it's using one angle. On the bottom, it kind of curves at a different angle. Or should I use it? No, I shouldn't use that. I should be using this. Okay, then that all should work. But it doesn't. No, the wrong block here. You have to convert to U again, and then it'll work. Oops. Alright. All I got to say is this is going to be a pretty bizarre creation, hopefully. Hopefully it looks neat, but it's hard to say. It's really hard to say at this stage. I don't know. But I tell you what, experimenting with this, yeah, if you're really into building and want to do stuff, doing these weird little experiments like this will just help you learn everything, especially these angles, which are so important. There. Now that is kind of coming out to a nice little oval there. That's cool. Now I want to do something similar out in these positions over here, and then these bottom positions. I still may end up modifying the curve over here rather than it kind of going like this and out. Maybe it'll just kind of come up as an arc like that. I think I could smooth it off better. So the idea here, tentacle, and these tentacles, I'm still scared of building those, but they're going to kind of come out this way. I want them to be a little bit wavy. On the bottom areas here, I'm thinking these are going to be more structural support beams that are going to come out for potential landing pads or something like that. And the other areas, these tentacles are going to hold some turrets as part of the plan. So they actually have some use and beyond just weird stuff to look at. At least if my idea comes out. Again, high concept, hard to say, but got to keep plugging away at it and see where it ends up at. And yeah, when I do screw up with blocks like I am kind of right now, it's usually because I have a hard time seeing which way the blocks rotated in the first place, especially when I'm really close to it like this. So. And it is one of those things. I'm sure you guys run into it too. Okay. But of course, because of how I'm just doing this, it's very, it's not completely pre-planned at all. So if some other formation comes into play that you think about, when this is being built, could try to follow through with that too, or change the what I had envisioned a little bit here. Now here, I think I'm going to do the same kind of thing, and we're going to kind of turn this into a more of an oval. A lot of fluctuating between one block and another. So on this side I used this block. Okay. So I'll do the same here then. And I think here the only solution I have would be to go with this. Is that true? Is that what happened on the other side? Yes, it is. Okay. I know, this is one of those weird creations, though, where you're not really going to have much of an idea what it's supposed to look like until it gets further along. Right now, it just looks like a An amoeba. Sorry, I had to use the old amoeba thing. There's some movie I watched before. It was that word was used in. I think it was some weird Mel Gibson movie. Can't exactly remember the name of it now. Okay, so we've got tentacle mount positions there and there. I'm not sure if I want one in the center. That might be a face or a face and a kind of a mouth. Yeah, this is going out there a little bit. Okay, so this part's cool. Let's build these out one more block row, and I'll try to keep that at a 22.5 angle. This one's pretty easy because of how it was set up, where everything should work out. Okay, those are in place. Just some regular blocks here, and oops. And some of these blocks might change too. A lot of these blocks might change into either Xeno, or I wouldn't mind trying to get some weird curvy looking craziness in here too. That is a possibility for sure. I'll get rid of any blocks that don't need to be existing on the back side of this. So basically any full blocks like that. I'm just trying to keep it really clean for now. Of course, once the interior is being done, I'll look at that again, so if I miss them, it's not a big deal. Alright, so we've got these and those. Not sure if the bottom ones are quite big enough. It looks like the top ones seem to be a little bit meatier, and they also curve on 2 angles. So this over here is bugging me a little bit now too. This subtle row that's straight that goes across here. But I don't want to sweat all the little small stuff. I'll get to that again a little bit later. Okay, so this part here. God, do I want to keep it the way it is? Do I want to, another idea too is to start to put in like trim rows. What I mean by that is, like, say I did another beveled angled on this bottom section. Let's just try it for the heck of it. But I want to keep like half the block visible. Like if I use this block, it would be 1-to-1. You got the smooth angle here. I don't have any like ridge here. So if I went down 1 to this, and I could get that kind of ridge line, and then you'd have an area that you could paint differently and potentially look okay or not. And if I go up here, I can't put a block there. So, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, maybe I'll have to abandon that too. That's not going to fit the way I'm thinking about it. Alright, well, anyway. Let's try to do a concept of a tentacle, I think. How is that actually going to work out? It's easy. A lot of things are easier said than done, or imagined than done, that's for sure. You got to translate between what you actually want and what the blocks will allow you to do. So I'm going to take this out, another beveled edge here. Kind of did that a little badly. There we go. Again, having a really hard time seeing what I'm doing. There we go. Okay. So that still works. Okay. Yeah. It's a strange one. All right. let's see. Okay, again, tentacles. How the heck am I gonna make this work? See, what I wanted them to do too is kind of like fluctuate, be curvy, also provide places to mount at least 3x3 turrets on them somehow. I'm a little scared of this part. Alright, here's what I'm going to do. Because this is so troubling and I'm trying to do it like line by line right now, I think this might be a case where I need to do some like 3D lines here to try to figure out what I'm trying to accomplish first, and then try to make the block work happen around these lines. Right now I'll just keep symmetry on, although I might alter some of these later. We'll see. So what I'm trying to do is kind of make this kind of a weird flowing curvy line that kind of goes in and out a little bit, maybe loops around. I don't know. Maybe that should go more upward. Just slight fluctuations all over the place. I don't know, maybe I should try to kind of curve these out and around a little bit too. And how big are these arms actually going to be is another question. Kind of like octopus arms is the idea here. I end up looking more like a jellyfish. Hard to say. Alright. So idea over there. Let's try an idea over here. And have these like kind of flow outward a little bit. Maybe down a smidgen. A little bit more outward. Maybe down again. And then maybe kind of curve back inward a little bit. And the idea is try to make it kind of look very organic. It's kind of an idea. I do think it needs more arms, but it's supposed to have them anyway. So, all right, I'll just keep that there as a thought idea. Quick stuff to do at least. Let's build this part out. Now I want these a little bit bigger and bulgier. So kind of the same idea of making kind of a oval type formation from the base, but in this case I think that oval should be bigger than the ones up there, because it's going to be trying to mount different things to it. But these do have to start curving upward. And start to also round off a little bit, so. Oops. Oh, I see what I did there. Needs this block on this side. It's a little different from this side to this side right now already. I'm going to try to go with it though and see what happens. Actually, you know, right here, I think maybe I shouldn't try to go with it. Maybe I should put in the same block I did use on the other side here. But that doesn't actually fit to the bottom block, does it? And this is kind of curved and weird right there. So that would be straight. Let's put in a full block here and then curve you back in. Oops. Or not so straight, but curved like that. Not quite roundy enough over here. What options are there? The only thing I could really do is bring it up to a point. I kind of like this, and I don't like those points. I don't like it when it does that, actually. Or maybe try to make this match the other. That's not going to work there. I don't think there's a block solution for that either. So, what can be done? Okay, so let's change you into this. Oops. Like that. You're almost okay, except for I have to modify the bottom block here to get that to fit again. Yeah, that little jog thing I got going on this side is really kind of throwing me off for this part. I was trying to keep it, but yeah, that little bit of fluctuation could be a neat thing in the end, though. So I don't know. Keep on screwing with this. So the only block that really works here is this one across the top. And then really about the only thing, there's a couple options. Could go with that, or could use these weird blocks here if I wanted it to come to a point. I could try the point this time, just see what happens. Okay, so they're coming out one level. So on this one here, I want them to come out sharper at a 22.5, and see if it can work yet. It's different on both sides. Ooh, yeah, it's gonna present a problem. allow me to make it work anyway. I think all the blocks are still working for this bevel. Amazing how fast the blocks go too. I think I started with a fresh stack of 1,000 blocks, and we're at 572 already. I don't think I only removed like a couple blocks. I think a few. Just gonna basically say that it's not going to be a free creation. Get a lot of material involved in this. This is, however, a wall, and will generate some interior space. I'm not sure why I just did that though. Okay, so this is our angles so far. Okay, so those are out. Let's try to get some fake blocky tentacles coming out of here right now too. Let's just we'll just say that these are naturally going to be a little bit wider though, and probably a little bit more of a formation as well. But I still wanted them to fluctuate a fair amount. Again, all these little these full blocks I'm putting in here, these are just kind of temporary blocks to try to establish a really basic shape in like almost Minecraft form, and then try to work that a lot better with all the angle blocks and other blocks. But in this case too, these actually probably should be a little bit straighter, because they are supposed to be holding like landing pad kind of things. But again, I'm not sure how that's going to work out. This will have interior space and a whole back side of it yet, and who knows what else. But I don't know. Yeah, just a lot of weird thoughts on this kind of thing when building it. But I will say one thing that I think it's so far accomplishing. It is really bizarre, and that is what it's supposed to be. So I'm not like disliking it, but this is also, I mean, it's one of the it's a hard thing to build too, for sure. With this kind of thing, I'm very much out of my element with this, but it's fun because it's new and fresh for me at least. All right. Okay. I got to think exactly how I want these to be. And now I keep on thinking maybe they should have these arms should have some little spiky things coming off them. And then I got to start thinking about turrets too. I was gonna need some turrets. Again, one of the big things I want this to be able to do is to be a POI. But it would be nice to have a version that I actually released to the workshop that is player base. However, you know, efficiency of player base versus cost probably wouldn't be probably wouldn't be the hot ticket. You'd pretty much kind of want to be into the exotic for this, because it would be more expensive than you could do a base in other ways. All right. I'll think about that part a little bit. So on the back side, let's try to do a little bit of this too. Now here's kind of a big line, and to keep it organic, I kind of want some sublines in here, kind of almost like some gills or vents, fluctuations in it, but maybe not everywhere, maybe in certain areas. So here, I think what I'm going to attempt to do first is to build out another wall that kind of comes down a little bit in some areas, like kind of like it goes around and it kind of curves back inward just a little bit. I'll go a couple rows over here with that. in that location, but in, say, this location around the top, well, yes, I'm thinking a lot. It hurts too. Okay, so that's nothing but a bulge. I don't have any gills here yet. Maybe I don't put gills right in this area. It just curves so nicely that I'm trying. I know all the blocks are going to line up to it, and that might actually be a better plan than what I had just thought of prior to that, which is the gill thing. Oops. Alright, so I'm going to say that these parts here, I'm going to keep on bringing these back. And I'm going to keep on maintaining that 22.5 angle for a bit here, and then maybe try to do something more interesting in between these two sections. I got to get to the right angle set though. Oops. But there is going to be a divider line somewhere here though. Like maybe up across the top, kind of like a line between this part and this part. And then I got to figure out if I actually do want like some kind of tentacle coming off the top here too, which might be needed to keep the rest of it looking right. So this is kind of forcing the angle to change because of how it mounts to the point, which I'll go with that, see what happens. Okay, so let's try to get some gills in here, and probably after that, this video's probably getting a little bit long again. So, idea to do gills. What I want to try to accomplish is to be able to get like a texture light strip, but I don't want it. I definitely don't want it a full block. As thin as I can do it, the better. But I think the minimum I'll be able to do this at is a half block distance. And I kind of almost want to curve it the opposite way you think it would curve. So maybe like something like that there. Nah, I see, but then that doesn't line up very good to there. Nope. Can I even make this work? Oh, I did it backwards. And then it would be this one. Okay, yes, I can definitely make that work. Okay. So about one line there. Let's do it again. So I'm kind of looking at how it's going to line up to this part. Now I can modify that part to make it fit a little bit better. Well, what would be kind of neat in this, so if these gills, rather than just kind of going straight back like this, if they kind of went to more of a V shape, so they kind of like covered that section and went back at an angle like this. So then basically it's like taking these end pieces and start to curve those in, which would actually make it line up better to this part here. So that can be done by switching some of these side blocks to the other angle set, like that. Okay, so let's do one more in here. Changing the block like almost every block. Oops. All right, well, let me do one last thing just to, I normally do this anyway. I'm just going to set it to white and just mass fill it in here a minute. Well, that's where it's at so far. The hardest part, I think, right now that I'm on this, well, nothing about it's really easy, but these arms are going to be troublesome. I just know that. I just know they're going to be troublesome. But I think it's possible. I do think it's possible to create that look, and it might change these arms a lot too. Now, ideas right now, center is obviously I kind of wanted at least recessed in here a little bit, is like maybe a force field, a large force field as a hangar door. I don't necessarily want a traditional hangar door. I don't really want that look. And the force fields look neater. And force fields, if you do the blocks right around them, you got to have a dead row, but you can kind of make it look like you have a curvy opening then, and that is going to be required for this. If it was a big square box opening, it wouldn't fit anything that's going on here very well at all. So yeah, I think it's going to have a force field, and then this is going to get back into a hangar section here. And when you actually fly a ship out of this thing, at least from what I know so far, you actually fly out this area with all the tentacles and stuff around. And then also, I kind of wanted a bit of a, almost like a face in here. So yeah, it's an exotic thing, high concept. Hard to really say how it's going to come out in the end, but so far it's starting to, it's kind of following what I was thinking about. Very alien, very unique. Kind of again taking cues from deep sea creatures and things like that. a little bit, but also trying to be alien. So some of that stuff down there, though, looks very alien. So, I mean, the definition of what you would consider to be alien is actually on our planet right now, like swimming in the oceans. So, anyway, I'll stop the video right there. If you got any comments, please let me know. On the other creation that I'm working on over here too. One last question I did want to ask. Now, I was kind of right now steering because I always put farms in like everything. This doesn't, I want this to be more of a transport vessel. Basically, I plan on putting a fair amount of storage in it, and then, of course, docking space and probably some production. But as in farms, I really didn't want to use space in the ship for farms in this one. And I know I always put farms in every ship, and I could probably fit farms in here. One way or another. It might not be a big farm, but I do need room for the big parts and the warp core and the shield and all that fun stuff. And that's going to have to go up probably in this front section over here, and then basically keeping the hangar largely open. And where this door is coming down here from the landing pad, I'll probably have an elevator like right here, which would be its central elevator. So this would be our front of the ship, probably undoubtedly have 2 floors. I'm going to have to go up 3 blocks high for the bottom floor so I can fit like a shield in there. And then I only have like a block height in some of this area back here. It goes up to 2 blocks height, kind of. Well, not really. I have to go up a little bit of a stairs to get to the bridge here. But that's kind of what I'm thinking about how I want the interior to be designed. I'm gonna have to do a lot of stuff to the top of this. I just kind of filled it in right now with blocks, but a lot of these blocks will be changing to create I don't know, patterns and stuff on the ceiling of the hangar. Same thing goes for the underside. I really didn't fill the blocks in yet on this. They'll be all try to make formations of blocks too. So, and then the very last debate I've got on this is whether or not I should either lower the thrusters down another block row and have this perched up like 2 blocks above the ground, which isn't a bad idea. I kind of like that for landing purposes. It would make the whole thing look a little bit thicker. And then I've got the non-uniformity between the front thrusters and the rear thrusters. And I'm kind of looking at ways that maybe I could, although they are different designs, I tried to follow some of the same things, like this angle here is the same as the angle here and so on, but this has a distinct line that comes through here, and that line is not matched on the back thruster, and I think it's throwing it off. I think I need to like try to at least mimic what's going on here for uniformity of where this line is flowing on this thruster to be flowing across at least this front area on this thruster. And I think that might dial that in a little bit better, and maybe this thruster should also come down there and not have this jaunt and then kind of come down again. Things like that. Just I'm trying to work out the logistics of it. Anyway, you guys have a great day. I might have a video tomorrow on this again. Just keep on working on it. Once I get more engrossed into the back side of this and all the rest, hopefully it starts taking shape and starts looking pretty interesting. But it might be still a couple more videos before you really get the idea. I suppose you got some kind of idea right now what it would kind of look like, but this is a very early version of it. So anyway, y'all have yourself a good day. I'll talk to you later.